Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite dark sorcerer here, Michael Hyson, aka Angelus, son of Abaddon. And today, I'd like to discuss with you black magic and evolution. First of all, have you ever wondered what black magic is? What it can do? And we all know about the myths, the legends, the stereotype put on by the persona of white light religionists. We all know the persona and the thought form of what sorcery is, what black magic really is. Well, why don't we discuss this a little bit? Today, we see a lot of individuals following in a flock to groups, to orders, foundations, religious temples, churches, synagogues. But a lot of people do not realize that most black magicians, sorcerers, mages, and magi were solitary. Even shamans and necromancers were solitary. Voodoo priests and priestesses, solitary, only get together in the similar mannerism of, say, for an example, the Satanic Black Mass. Only time groups of people get together to celebrate and contact the Loa, perhaps even the Ugan from Pedro Mayambi and Santeria. The gods of old, such as Thor, Set, Hades, perhaps even Circe or Hecate, Hell, Isis, even. A lot of people forget that these deitas was a form of worship. And a lot of people are trying to steer the practices away from religious worship. A lot of them are trying to corrupt it and water it down into what it is not. Over the last year, I've been delving into the old world of sorcery, going into most of the time my practices have taken me into Icelandic, Gaelic, and Slavic, not just bulk, okay? Modern day Ukraine, Slavic, Scandinavian, and yes, even Russian practices of witchcraft, sorcery, dealing with gods and beings of folklore, going into beings as powerful as gods, such as angels and demons, the jinn, going into the elven, the Sadi, the wraiths, all of these beings I've become quite acquainted with over the last year. And a lot of people have the myths and the legends wrong. A lot of them, they barely even scratch the surface. If they've taken the time to get into the old scrolls, the old linguistics, the languages, and seeing how they are derivatives of much older languages, the runes, and how they were utilized not only as sigils and seals and wardings, magical tools, but they were also associated with alphabets, languages, spoken words. for hundreds of thousands of years. I was thinking about this last night, and then I get on today, and I see a I see a video called Jewish Gates by Slayton Sorcery. So naturally, my curiosity got the best of me, and I started watching the video. It does that from time to time where you may not like the other person. You may not even associate with that other person or that other practitioner, but you do connect on some topics. It's a crossover. It's bound to happen. But I thought he did an awesome job on this video, teaching not just about the era in which these languages were spoken, but going all the way back to about 100 BCE. Okay? There's a lot that a lot of individuals don't know because they don't want to get into it. They're too fearful of what sorcery is. You take, for an example, what's been going on over the last few weeks with this coronavirus. You take the earthquakes in California, the odd storms in Quebec, the famine, the pestilence, the war. Well, I wouldn't say war because let's just face it, that's actually dubbed down over the last couple of weeks. But you take into account that even locusts have risen. And it's interesting that nobody's paying attention to what's actually going on behind the scenes. Black magic can do a lot of things. You can get in contact with the currents. You can get in contact with these old gods, a form of worship and belief structures, utilizing the tools that they used within their system of sorcery. It's not just Egyptian. It's not just Greek or Roman. It's not just Middle Eastern. It's not, you know, Bulk or Russian. It's all over the world. People have used and practiced what we now call black magic and sorcery, but they forget it was the church, the Christian JCI church, that dubbed it black magic as being evil. As long as you were sanctified by the church to be able to use magic for healing, then it was all good. If you were a clergy, then you can perform things like necromancy, conjurational, and rejuvenation type rituals. You can get into a lot of things. And one of the biggest things out there over the last 1,000 years is this. It was believed that only the clergy of the church could do these performances, these rituals, without becoming corrupted or fall ill to the mannerisms of the sorcery. And anything outside of that church was considered of the devil and needed to be purified, destroyed. That's the thing about viewpoints of fear. It's about the way people look at sorcery. Because most of them go by what they've been told, what they feel is necessary. Or they get into some tradition that limits your perspectives without evolving. getting into actual sorcery, the seven forbidden arts, practices found in the Munich manuscript, goes all the way back to the Dead Sea Scrolls and beyond. You see, necromancy and shamanism were closely related today and over about 1,000 years ago, but they were two separate practices. And a lot of people don't realize that even though these two had a lot in common, they did not get along. Why? Because of the practices? Or perhaps it was the methods and the tools, the gods that they conjured, that they worshipped. You see, evolution of an individual practitioner comes with accepting the magic, accepting that there's no limit to what you can do. Daily meditation, daily rituals. The more you do rituals, the more powerful you become. To call on an old song by Judas Priest and quote a lyric from that song, I will have my sacrifice. Now, what is a sacrifice but that of you becoming a solitary practitioner? A lot of old mages and magi locked themselves away for years to master the arts. And when they finally come out into the world, they're hated, they're feared, they're respected. Some get judged, others become part of a community, just like we see today. But still, black magic can do a lot of things for you. And I mean a lot of things. But you have to be the one to discern between fake and real, the truth and the lies. Not everybody studies the same materials, most of which are derived from the Salamantic system, the same regurgitated system being rewritten and watered down throughout time. They forget about Pope Honorius, who wrote the Constitution of Pope Honorius, the Grimoire of Honorius. They forget that there are other older grimoires out there, like the Grand Grimoire. But a lot of these are Hebraic. A lot of these are systems from the Middle East, going all the way back into Aramaic, ancient Hebrew, and a lot of other traditions, especially that of Egyptian and Greek. Look at, for an example, the Red Dragon. Get into the Red Book of Appen. Okay? The Red Book of Appen is Transylvanian. It comes from Romania, gypsies. Very, very different from any other grimoire. And it's darker than most grimoires. You get into the Black Raven, otherwise known as the threefold coercion of hell, and you're going to see how it's working with angelic beings, some of which are, well, let's just say this one has a two-part series to it. On one hand, you're dealing with those of the celestial, and then on the other hand, you're dealing with the fallen angelics. You get into books like, say, for an example, The Magus by Francis Barrett. He has two parts to this, part one, volume 1 and volume 2. Volume 2 you can get on PDF. whereas volume 1 you can actually get in paperback. But here's the kicker. Most of these grimoires, it doesn't matter if it's the grimoire of Armadale. It doesn't matter if it's the sacred magic of Abramelin the Mage. It doesn't matter what system you get into, like Clavicle of Solomon. They're all the same. A superior god who commands everyone else. The creator. Much just like the JCI. The more you get into the languages, the more you get into the regions, the art, the history, the mythology, you're going to see all of this. Black magic doesn't just stop here. It goes beyond, because every region of the world has a unique system that allows you to evolve as an individual practitioner. You don't need some dumbass that doesn't know shit about the practices and the arts limiting your growth to make them feel good. Delve into the material yourself and learn. Learn for yourself and not for someone else. Over the last year, I've been delving into the Mazajira Cabal system quite heavily through necromantic practices. And I can tell you that I've been attacked and ridiculed because I've dedicated my life to practicing this system of magic. Some people love it. Some people are intrigued. Others, on the other hand, just simply hit that block button and then badmouth me behind my back. You see, this is part of being a sorcerer. This is part of being a public figure. You're going to get your haters. You're going to get your trash talking followers. But if it was all about that and the showboating, then the practices might as well go bye-bye. But here's the kicker. I'm not here for these types. You see, some of these individuals think that I'm here solely to, how should I say this, stroke egos. No. I don't care what your beef is with certain organizations, certain groups of magic. It's about the art, it's about the knowledge, and it's about your personal growth and evolution. And the sorcery that you weave is yours and yours alone. You see, a lot of individuals don't get this. They want to stay in the same old encampments, adversities, and drama. Black magic allows you to grow, to mature, and to create change, like the alchemical symbol, for an example. Now, a lot of these, the Philosopher's Stone, is an alchemical symbol. It's a symbol created for change, and a lot of people have forgotten this. You see, the triangle with the square, and then the circle in the center. This is the Philosopher's Stone, the alchemical symbol for change, growth, maturity. You don't have to go out and attack people. You don't have to sit there and do anything. You weave your magic to create change within your life, within your family's lives, within your community. And if you get powerful enough, you can affect the world. You look at what E.A. Wedding's done. You look at what Frank White's done. You see, you look at what Joseph Nunn has done, Baphomet X. You see, they're not doing it for popularity. They're doing it because they love performing magic. They love aligning themselves with the currents of the Demerge, the demonic. Just like I enjoy the history, the mythology, the art, the practices, and the magic and the rituals that I do. It's not about popularity. It's not about subscriptions, how many followers you get. If I can reach and aid one person out of 10, that's awesome. Because you don't change people's minds over one thing. If you can help one person gain a foothold into the path that they're looking to do, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And that's actually true, Tina. That's very much true. And I concur, Lord Hades. But here's the kicker. Until you realize that you have to be the one to choose to let go, step away from the world. Focus solely on your practices and where you're going. You're the only one who can succeed or fall on your own. Someone like me can only lead you to the material. But every so often, you're going to have a witch war. You're going to have somebody coming at you, and you can give them the recognition that they're looking for, and they go away. A lot of times they go away, but sometimes you just got to put them down like a rabid dog. Now, Slade and Sorcery and we've had our differences. He tagged me in a video once, and I found out that this individual was also the one that sent the emails, forwarded them to me. So we'll see. But here's the kicker. I don't have anything against this man. And I definitely don't have anything against anyone else trying to evolve through black magic. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Every so often, you'll come across things like the Jewish Gate, put out by Slade and Sorcery. This individual really did an awesome job on that video. He really did. And I got to applaud him for it. Because he actually touched on two eras that I didn't take into consideration myself. So, even I learned something new. And that's what it's about. It's about learning. It's about growing. It's about self-mastery and evolution. Weave your magic, ladies and gentlemen, and see where it takes you. For now, I gotta go to work. Have a good one, and until next time.